Right now, Lil Durk is one of the biggest rappers in the world, but it didn't all happen overnight. He had a wild come up in Chicago, and some say he's the reason the big war in the city got so violent. Durk had a grind for over a decade.
But what was the first Lil Durk song you heard?
Yeah, though, this ain't what you want.
Yes,
This ain't what you want.
And today,
this is literally the video. I remember watching it.
We're breaking down the
And
crazy story
after that, yeah,
of
was
Street
when he
Savage.
dropped just cause you waited one. You get me, fam? All those songs and all every song on that Blood Clot album, blood, that's getting banked. Well, not every, I ain't gonna lie, fam, but majority of them, you get me?
To linking up with superstars like Drake and Kanye. Let's get right into it. Lil Durk came up on the south side of Chicago in an area called Inglewood. A lot of kids in the city grow up without their dads around, but Durk's situation was a lot crazier than most. When he was 7 months old, his dad was sentenced to life in prison for allegedly running a huge crack operation. Big Durk was locked in with Larry Hoover, the legendary Chicago gang leader who created the Gangster Disciples all the way back in 1965. Big Durk was running the streets and had a lot of people working for him. And back in the day, he was cool with the BDs too. The BDs and GDs have been locked in a deadly war for years. And when Big Durk was moving heavyweight back in the day...
Oh, so that man have been warring from time. That's the majority of the beef anyway, isn't it?
The two crews wasn't even beefing. According to Big Durk...
Nah, they wasn't beefing at first, though.
They weren't?
Yeah, you're not even listening to what he's saying.
Yeah, because he literally just said they weren't beefing.
In the day, the two crews wasn't even beefing. According to Big Durk, the war started in his hood after some BD leaders thought they should have more territory. Big Durk was running the game and his family should have been taken care of. But then, the whole thing came crashing down. Big Durk and 3 of his top affiliates got hit with life sentences after Big Durk's cousin, Tasha Woods, testified against him. And when the cops raided Big Durk's storage unit, they found $1 million cash and 10 bricks of cocaine. Even though Lil Durk's dad was locked up before he even really knew him, they kept a good relationship over the years and talked on the phone almost every day. Big Durk didn't want his kids to end up like him and try to keep him out of the streets. But sometimes, it's not that simple when you come up in a place like Chicago. Lil Durk's mom had to take care of him and all of his siblings, and back then, they were just struggling to survive. Durk says they were so broke that some days, they didn't even have food to eat. Durk knew he had to step up and help the family, so he hopped off the porch at just 10 years old and started hustling. Durk had dreams of making it out of the streets through basketball, but
10 years old, fam.
Realized it wasn't gonna work.
I said 10 years old, yo, man.
I paused it literally though, fam, like blood. What is your neighborhood literally like though, fam? It's like, fam, 10, bro.
It must be mad. It must be mad over there still.
Yeah, that's brave, blood.
Yeah, now I be hearing there's a guy Castillo in it from the UK.
Yeah,
I remember I was watching his podcast and he was saying like, oh, he wants to go to the he wants to go to Chicago, in it, and he wanted to go O Block and all them things. Man said he got to the Chicago, yeah, bro. my man, he said he looked like he just went like straight to the hood, like it was ghetto over there, bro. Like it was scary, like he didn't even want to look at people and things like that. It was mad, fam.
He had to switch up his...
especially the way how he looks as well, fam. Like they're just gonna be like, it's like, what's up? Like, you feel me, fam?
Like, he still looks like a proper geek, like a gangster as well over there, innit?
Literally, fam.
So yeah, my man said, yeah, bro, like he went on a he was on some tube, innit? I can't remember the tube, but there's a tube on Chicago, innit? And it's not pleasant, innit? It's not pleasant at all. And he went on there and he was like, yo, the guy that he was with, he was saying, yo, you keep your phone close and they're saying try not to look at people and shit because, well, you know what I'm saying, they'll really turn up, bro.
His plan. He started dropping tracks in 2010 and created his OTF crew, but it wasn't until he caught a gun charge in 2011 that he decided to take music seriously. He was sentenced to 3 months in jail for the weapon case and got out on bond, but then he was sent back for another 87 days. While he was locked up, Durk's first child was born, and he realized that he had to switch up how he moved. Durk knew how growing up without his dad made everything harder, and he didn't want his own son to have the same experience. In the interview, he said, what really broke it down was I had my son while I was locked up, so that really affected me. That really put the toll on me like, oh yeah, I gotta change. When Durk got back out, he had 2 options, go hard with the music or get even deeper in the streets. He was a broke high school dropout living with his mom and had a newborn son. And Durk said he was not eating, getting locked up, no focus, no guidance. But instead of going down the same path his dad and most people in the area did, Durk hopped in the booth and got to work. He dropped the track Sneak Dissin' and I'm a Hitter, which picked up some buzz in the city. And that's when Durk knew he could make it in the game. He used MySpace to build up an audience and dropped his debut mixtape in 2011. Durk followed it up with 2 more projects, then in December 2012, he dropped the track that changed everything. The GDs and BDs were already beefing at this point, but L's anthem took the disrespect to a new level, and a lot of people think it led to the brutal wave of violence that's still going on today. On the track, Durk said, "You don't fuck with me, then fuck them. My own I don't trust them. Brick Squad, I say fuck them. Woogle World with them, so fuck them." Lil Jojo from Brick Squad clapped back with the track 300K, BDK.
I ain't gonna lie, you're the first person to put me on Lil Jojo, you know.
300
with a BDK.
Aye. This song here, yeah, glad. The whole of Bristol's banging this flick. Literally, fam.
Hey, bro, I can't lie. Yeah, you're the first guy to put me onto that, bro. I swear down, fam. I swear.
And called out Durk and the rest of the BDs.
I literally heard you play and I was thinking, what song is this? This song's hard, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Durk say
that's when everyone was banging Chief Keef back then as well, man.
Squad, so I can't wait to catch him. Squeeze his 40. Now they got him on a stretcher. Lil Jojo was tragically murdered after the track drop, which really set off the war between the BDs and GDs. But even though it might have caused more young dudes to lose their life in the streets, L's anthem helped Lil Durk level up and get his name in the spotlight. He followed it up with the hit, This Ain't What You Want, which led to him signing a deal with Def Jam Records in 2013. It was the biggest moment of his career, but Durk didn't have long to celebrate. He had been trying to leave the streets behind, but just a couple of days after signing with Def Jam, he got booked on another weapon charge. The cops rolled up on him in Chicago, and Durk allegedly tossed a pistol into his car. Durk got hit with a charge for unlawful use of a weapon by a felon and was held on a 100K bond. By this point, his homie Chief Keef was already one of the hottest new rappers in the game after blowing up with the track Don't Like and linking up with Kanye West. Everyone thought he'd step in and bail Durk out, but Keef didn't pay the bond. Keef leaving Durk behind caused a split that would last a few years.
Wait, hold on, people. You can still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, this shit bugging.
But Durk
the mic couldn't hear you a minute ago,
on his own career. He got back out just a month later and dropped his mixtape Signed to the Streets in October 2013. 2014 was an even bigger year for him. He was named on a XXL freshman class, dropped his Signed to the Streets 2 project, and got into a high-profile beef with Tyga in the game. Tyga and Durk have been going back and forth on social media.
Yeah, bro, I recently found I didn't even know about this.
Little diss, blood.
Yes.
Tyga fucking diss, bro.
Yes. Bro, I can't lie, I recently just heard this diss, you know. I did not know they man had like a beef.
Yeah, Durk sent for him still. The little snippet I heard, Durk sent for him still, blood.
Fam, like what? I didn't even know they had a little. I was so confused, bro. Innit? I was so confused. I was thinking, what was this recently? And I was like, nah, this can't be recent.
Iraq to LA. Game took a shot at Durk on the track and said, "I don't f with no new niggas. They like to sue. Yo, woo. Tyga hit me like Durk dissing. Durk Nowitzki, Durk who? Never heard of these. Game is a legend in the industry, but Durk proved he wasn't backing down from anyone. Durk ran into Game at a club in LA and pressed him about the beef. A video of the situation shows their crew squaring up.
Oh! So why is that only coming out now, fam? Bro, I saw this video time ago, fam. I saw this video
time ago.
I saw this video time ago. Have you not seen this vid? Of him, Lil Durk pressing that Game.
I think I heard about like I can't recall it.
Now watch it.
The situation shows their crew squaring up like they was gonna throw down, but both sides left the scene without it popping off. The day after Durk pressed him, Game let everyone know on Twitter that it was squashed.
I think I seen that still.
They took a couple more shots at each other in interviews on social media, but it never turned into real beef.
I saw that time. So
2015, Durk had been grinding long enough in the industry that he had some major buzz on his name, and fans were waiting for him to drop his debut album, Remember My Name. It was supposed to drop on May 12th, but then it got pushed back to June 2nd. The album debuted at number 14 on the Billboard 200 chart, which wasn't as high as a lot of fans expected. But Durk
I guess so high, I put my drug into my sister.
A few months later, in 2016, Durk dropped his second album on Def Jam, but it only hit number 29 on the Billboard 200. It wasn't bad enough to be called a flop, but fans knew that Durk wasn't getting the shine he deserved. That same year, OTF took a hit after Tay 600 was accused of working with the cops against Rondo No. 9, C-Day, and D-Rose 600 in their murder trials.
Oh my days.
Tay denied snitching, but still got kicked out of OTF and started beefing with Durk. They sent disses back and forth for a while, but by that point, Durk was way too big for the drama to affect his career. In 2017, he proved he was still hungry and wanted to reach the top of the rap game. He dropped 4 projects that year, including 2 collab tapes with Lil Reese and T Grizzly. 2018 was another crazy year for him. Durk dropped his 12th mixtape and announced that he had left.
We know about that mixtape, bro.
Oh, you fam, that one there was getting banged.
That one there was getting banged. I ain't even gonna lie, I think 20 bro.
Def Jam Records. That same year,
I knew about Durk, but then it was only that one little hit that you know what I'm saying? That this ain't what you want hit.
OTF. And
that's the only thing I heard, fam.
Durk and OTF got even more shine when King Von joined the group and popped off with the track Crazy Story.
Rest in peace, King Von,
rap
man.
game was a huge win for both of them. They was both running up numbers like crazy, and the whole OTF wave was taking over the industry. 2019 was a massive year for Durk and Von, and in 2020, Durk finally broke out into the mainstream. Durk's 5th album peaked at #2 on the Billboard 200 chart, and then he blew up even more after Drake featured him on the track Laugh Now, Cry Later. Durk was finally getting the attention he deserved, but then tragedy struck when King Von was shot and killed later that year. Durk has lost a lot of people over the years to violence. In 2013, his homie L.A. Capone was murdered outside of a studio, and in 2014, his cousin OTF Newski was also killed. A year later, his manager Chino Dollar was murdered after leaving a meeting about anti-violence initiatives. Von's death had a major impact on Durk. They were real close and were also fighting an attempted murder charge together. Back in 2019, they were both booked for allegedly robbing and shooting a dude in Atlanta, but Von died before the case went to trial, and Durk's charges were dropped back in October. King Von was killed by Quando Rondo's homie Lil Tim, and the situation caused a tense beef between Durk and NBA YoungBoy that's still going on today. 2021 was another wild and tragic year for Durk. He dropped another OTF tape and a collab project with Lil Baby, but then his brother D-Thang was murdered outside of a nightclub in Chicago. Just a few months after D-Thang died, Durk and his girlfriend almost got taken out when some dudes broke into their house. They got into a shootout with the robbers, but luckily Durk and his girl both made it out of the situation alive. Lil Durk has had a wild career full of crazy highs and tragic lows, but he fought through all the struggles and became one of the biggest rappers in the industry. A lot of rappers give up if they don't start popping out the gate, but Durk put in the hard work and stayed on his grind for over a decade. Now it's all paying off, and he's running up bigger numbers with everything he drops.
Matt.
I'm about to say, lock that off, man. Lock that off.
Lock that off.